Hi, my name is Brenda Morgan, and I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in nutrition. I'm a health and fitness instructor and a master certified health coach. I'm passionate about health and wellness, and I spend a lot of time studying the science. One of the subjects that has intrigued me for the past few years is the field of epigenetics. I actually had a hard time finding a consistent definition. Epigenetics is a complex and evolving field of study. Basically, epigenetics refers to processes or influences like environment and behaviors that alter gene activity without changing the DNA sequence. It is the turning off and on of our existing genes. The study of what causes genes to be expressed or not in individuals. It can lead to modifications that can be transmitted to daughter cells, although experiments show that some epigenetic changes can be reversed. Epigenetics is of interest because it may show that we have a lot more power over our health outcomes than we might think. We may be able to reduce our risks of cancer, diabetes, and heart disease by modifying our habits, lifestyle choices, and our environment. The most recent news that I found on the science of epigenetics came from the site Science Daily. An article posted on July 2017 cites research published in the journal Science that states, and I quote, "We are more than the sum of our genes. Epigenetic mechanisms modulated by environmental cues such as diet, disease, or our lifestyle take a major role in regulating the DNA by switching genes on and off. It's been long debated if epigenetic modifications accumulated throughout the entire life can cross the border of generations and be inherited to children or even grandchildren. Now research shows robust evidence that not only the inherited DNA itself, but also the inherited epigenetic instructions contribute in regulating gene expression in the offspring." End quote. The field of epigenetics will tend to be contentious because it's such a broad field with lots of research potential. Even the term epigenetics raises debate among researchers over exactly what the term means and what it covers. A current controversy involved molecular biologist Mark Tashney at the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York City and geneticist John Greeley, who studies epigenetics and DNA methylation at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, criticizing recent articles by cancer researcher Mukherjee, that put too much emphasis on histone modification and DNA methylation, which they say are relatively minor contributors to gene regulation. They and other critics argue that Mukherjee ignored well-established mechanisms of gene regulation, such as transcription factors, proteins that attach to specific sites on DNA to turn genes on and off, and certain RNA molecules. Some other research is even suggesting that what a woman thinks and eats and does before, during, and after conception can affect the epigenetics of the unborn child. This is also a controversial idea. It seems that there needs to be lots more research in this area, but it's an exciting field of study with lots of potential to prevent illness and influence our habits and how we live our lives. Currently, the future of epigenetics is focused on cancer solutions and drug therapies for Alzheimer's disease that will alter gene expression. As a health coach, I talk to people daily who seem resigned to their predetermined destiny of health problems like diabetes and heart disease because it's in their genes. My observations and the research that I've studied so far lead me to hypothesize that we have way more control over our gene expression than we're willing to admit. Some studies indicate that the status of our health is about 70% environmental and only 30% controlled by our genes. This gives us lots of power and control over our fate. It may mostly come down to our environment and the habits that we choose to create or modify for ourselves.